Are you headed to a Sandals resort soon, or perhaps you're exploring this for a special treat in the near or maybe distant future? If so, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Madison, founder of Reliant Destinations and MyCaribbeanLuxury.com. Today, I'm delighted to welcome you to this channel, Mr Travelux. We are the largest Sandals and Beaches Resorts exclusive channel on YouTube. And today we bring you the Mr. Travelux Top 10 Tips and Tricks for Sandals and Beaches Resorts. I am excited to have this discussion with you, and before we dive in, make sure to have a look in that description below. There are so many things that you simply want to see. There you will find contact details for myself personally and my team. We would, by the way, be delighted to assist in any way possible. Finally, there are also some stunning digital interactive brochures which are linked in, again, that description below. We do offer complimentary concierge services for anyone who is planning that amazing trip to tropical paradise, and if you did happen to get a little trigger happy and book in the last 14 days over the phone or online, you can reach out to hear about what value we can add to your booking. Now, this will be a great discussion of the top 10 tips and tricks, so let's go. All right, let's go to number one. Number one, I would like to entitle Loop It. Now, a select few of you are like, yeah, that's a great one, but most of you are, I have no idea what he's talking about right now. See, Loop is one of the best quality mechanisms at a Sandals and Beaches resort, and in fact, most people don't even know about this. Loop is an app inside an app and can be found inside the Sandals and Beaches app. It can also be found using a specific link which will be on a little room card inside your room or suite when you get in resort. There are 3 parts to the Loop, and these 3 parts are compliments, requests, and concerns. So the request portion has many different aspects to it. For example, let's say that you just need some extra towels in your room, but you don't want to go and chase down a duty manager. Particularly for those who are at the entry tier or the Club Sandals tier of service, this is a great way for you to make some quick, easy requests that go directly to the management team without you having to waste time on your valuable vacation. Now, my favorite of these 3 is compliment. Let me tell you why. Many of you will be aware that Sandals and Beaches resorts are no tipping resorts. Yes, there are a couple of exceptions to this, such as your butlers, the Red Lane Spa, and then things outside of resort like tour guides on excursions, or maybe the driver who drives you from the airport to the resort. So allow me to give you an example. When I am in Sandals Montego Bay, my favorite server at Butch's Chop House there, his name is Robert. In fact, on TripAdvisor, you'll find many people giving direct shout outs to Robert. That's how awesome he is. Now, Sandals and Beaches resorts are full of people like this. Awesome staff who put on their best face every day, always have a smile, even if they're working long hours, and truly enjoy themselves, what they do, and meeting all of you. Now, Sandals pays Robert more than most of the other brands on the island would, and it's a coveted job. But here's the thing, Robert is not allowed to accept tips because Robert is expected to always bring the best service. After a great meal with an amazing server at one of the resorts, you might say, well, how can I say thank you? So there you go, that is the compliment section on the Loop app. You can go and leave a compliment for the name of your server or anyone it might be. It could be a bartender, someone who is really friendly in the corridor, someone even maybe who brought you some drinks. It could be absolutely anyone. This does more than you think. First of all, yes, it puts a good face for them in the management's books, but it does a lot more than that. There are internal incentives and competitions amongst the staff, and people like Robert, they have actually been able to win prizes for not just them, but their families when they have done a great job. So not only does it help them progress in their career, but also it directly incentivizes them. So I always recommend do the best you can to leave compliments whenever you get a moment in the Loop app. And the third part of that is something we hope you don't have to use, but occasionally you might. These are massive resorts, obviously, and anything that is massive, of course, there's some something that could go wrong, usually something small. This would be the concerns portion. Say there was something that was not quite up to standard, some quality issue you wanted to address, but again, you didn't want to take time out of your valuable vacation to go and hunt down a manager. In the same way, you can leave a comment there for concerns and it'll be addressed promptly. The system is set up where if it doesn't get addressed, it will continue to escalate upwards in the chain until it does, so there's a lot of incentive for that concern to be addressed. I highly recommend using the Loop app. So you can see I'm a little bit passionate about that one, but for now, let's jump into number 2. Number 2, it's best to make your dining reservations immediately upon arrival. You cannot pre-book dining reservations at a Sandals Beaches resort for a very simple reason. That's because many people do book years in advance, and for those who are booking a few weeks out, maybe some cancellation room that happened and they were able to get in, they would have no reservations and it wouldn't be fair. So to level this playing field, Sandals does all dining reservations when you're in resort. Now, some people do try to go and make their reservations one at a time the day of. Those kind of people typically are going to have the last preference, they're going to have the last remaining availability and have to be extremely flexible with their times. So especially if you do have a special occasion that you might want to highlight, like an anniversary or something like that you want to celebrate on a specific moment in the resort, you definitely want to try to capture that preferred time and date when you arrive. For those staying in entry-level rooms, you'll do that at the front desk. For those who have the Club Sandals tier in the Club Sandals Lounge, there is a concierge team who can handle all of those for you. And if you are in the amazing Butler Elite Services, your Butler team can make priority restaurant reservations for you. In fact, they'll even escort you to dinner, pour your first drink, and make sure you're settled before they go on their way. Number 3, island time. Relax, you're in paradise. And now number 4. Nah, just joking, we're not quite ready to move on yet. Truly though, the title of number 3 does say everything. You see, everyone coming to Sandals Beaches resorts has a very diverse array of travel experience. For some of you, this is your first time to ever even have a passport travel out of the country. For some of you, it's your first time out of your local state or wherever you come from. Others of you are a bit like myself and have traversed all over the globe and seen the world. So it goes without saying that those with an immense amount of travel experience will naturally be a bit more relaxed and understanding of the process versus those who are having this first time experience. So there is something natural about getting a bit stressed when it comes time to travel. What if my flight gets delayed? What if my room isn't ready? What if? Here's my suggestion: relax. You don't want to go to such an amazing destination and be stressed out the whole time. Here's the thing, we are dealing with humans. Even with a 5-star luxury, all-inclusive, amazing brand like Sandals, there are small things that can go wrong. Some things also happen slower. Island time is a thing. Island time means that people take things a little bit slower and a little bit more fluidly in this part of the world. American culture in particular, if you're coming from the US, is obviously a fast-paced go culture, which you might quickly realize is not how the rest of the world operates. So I recommend going into the experience with an open mind, a relaxed vibe, a go with the flow mentality, and I think you'll probably have one of the best times in your life. Number 4. Each resort is in a unique destination and a unique place, so don't expect the same. Here's what I mean. For those of you, particularly who have been to a different Sandals resort, it is easy to constantly compare one against the other. I recommend taking each resort as its own unique experience. In any given Sandals resort, you will have a unique blend of cultures there. You'll have some people that are of the local culture there, and also some inter-island faces, and everyone there is working in a very unique vibe. No two Sandals resorts are the same. They all feature different amenities, different experiences, and different atmospheres overall. Maybe one is more suited to you than another, but if you've committed to one experience, embrace it fully. And then once you're home, you can compare it in your mind and see which one you might want to return to next time, or maybe get in touch with someone like myself to get a recommendation for the next trip based off of what aligns best with your enjoyment. And number 5, it's a bit of a strange one, but the recommendation is this. When it comes to Sandals and Beaches, go ahead and just ignore TripAdvisor. Now, don't get me wrong, TripAdvisor is a fantastic way to look at many things across the globe and really see quality and different perspectives and opinions. Here's the problem with looking at TripAdvisor for Sandals. First, even a recent review could be something from a long time previous. I've seen people that traveled 2 or 3 years ago who just decided to leave a review after they were looking through their photos. So it doesn't always mean it's recent. With an experience experience like this as well, people who are thrilled with their experience are more likely to leave comments and things like the loop, like we talked about, and are likely to express their appreciation through Facebook posts and by sharing beautiful photos, tagging the resort, and that sort of thing. However, for those where something slightest bit goes wrong, they jump straight to posting a review online. That is the nature of how it tends to go. Now, the funny thing is, the Sandals and Beaches resorts are actually highly rated on TripAdvisor, but what that means is there were many more people whose minds were absolutely blown so far that they took the time to write a review versus those where something even small might have gone wrong and they decided to leave a negative review. In fact, sometimes the reviews are a bit comical. For example, I read one just yesterday that was about a 1-star review for one of the resorts because it rained one day during the stay. Hopefully that general manager will do a better rain dance next time before he shows up. The most important reason though is actually none of those. It is the fact that Sandals is continuously adapting and improving and renovating. So here's the thing, one review from a certain time might not represent the next chapter. Particularly, let's say you're reading a review from a year ago, but you're scheduled to go in 2 years' time. There's a lot that's gonna happen in that 3-year span, particularly with Sandals constantly updating suites, adding better restaurants, renovating, and that sort of thing. Now, feedback on resorts is great, but what I'm suggesting is that you do get this feedback, but you get it from more authentic, reliable sources. It doesn't have to be someone like me, although if you do reach out, I would love to share authentic perspective with you. I'm very honest. Sometimes people don't like how honest I am. I will tell you which resorts I love. There's also some I don't love quite as much, and I'm always happy to share with you my opinions. And if I get to know you a bit, I can also share which one I think might be the best for you. And also, of course, with a little bit of knowledge of what's coming in the future that might not be publicly available online. On to number 6, try the Red Lane Spa. It's quite special. I am in resort quite a bit, and often I am very, very busy when I'm there doing filming, interviews, and preparing content for you. However, one of the things that I typically try to carve out some time for is a visit to the Red Lane Spa. If you are there with your significant other, they have the amazing couples massages, which are called the Sense of Love Couples Massage. It does definitely match its name. It's an amazing tandem side-by-side massage, which you can have in the spa, or you can even have out in the open in a tropical garden or on the beach. At the spa, there's also, of course, things like manicures, pedicures, amazing shopping for products, and a whole bunch of other treatments as well, which you can have just as one person going in there. Maybe you're staying somewhere like Sandals Grand St. Lucian, and one day a mister wants to go and have some golf across the road at Cap Estate, and the missus wants to go and have a lovely pedicure and massage at Red Lane. Definitely possible. Oh, and final note on that, if you are going to beaches, they also have some options for kiddos. So especially if you want like a mommy and me type of thing, that does exist at Beaches Family Resort side of the. Number 7. Plan your dining when possible around your favorite entertainment. On the Sandals app, the day you arrive, it'll unlock where you can see the active schedule of all the entertainment happening during your stay. This is a great thing to have a look at because you can see what time your favorite activities are. So for example, often at Sandals Grand St. Lucian, there is an amazing water and fire show. I quite like to enjoy that, so I would make sure that whatever dining I request for that night aligns on one side or the other of that. If I had a butler, I would definitely make sure to emphasize that so they can get the kind of time that I prefer to have. There's nothing worse than having a nice meal and then remembering that the entertainment you really wanted to see is happening at that very moment. So it's good to just have a little peek in advance. Keep in mind that once you have a restaurant reservation, you can also move that slot as well, but that's something which of course would be subject to availability to do so. Number 8 is one of my favorites as a foodie, and it would be very simple. Just try it all. Visiting Sandals is not the time to go on your diet, is not the time to worry about those sort of things. Worry about that before and maybe after your trip. But when you're on site, just enjoy and relax. Here's the thing, it is premium all-inclusive, so when you're dining at a restaurant, you're not stuck to just one thing. It's not just one appetizer, one entree, and one dessert. No, you can go much further than that. You can sample different things. So, for example, if I'm with someone in resorts, it's very common where maybe we'll order a handful of appetizers so we can try different things. We'll order a few different main entrees, that way we can also sample some different bits there, and then a little platter of dessert so we have multiple options. But that does a couple of different things. It allows you to try a lot of varied food and have that experience, and it also just gives you an opportunity to really get some value for your money. Oh, and if you hit the dessert course and kind of feel as though you don't have any room left, go ahead and ask if they can put your dessert in a box for you, which normally they're happy to do in most of the restaurants, and you can take that back to your suite or carry it around for a few minutes until your appetite resumes. Well, we're getting close to the end now, folks. We're at number 9, which is pack versatile clothing. There's quite a few things to think about, and we'll also be putting a little video on the channel about packing, so you can check that out. But there's lots of things you want to consider when thinking about what you bring with you. Now, it is a tricky one because I definitely recommend you leave some space in your suitcase to bring something back with you. Very few people make it through, especially a week-long stay, without thinking that, you know what, maybe I want to take this home with me. But there's a few elements. For example, weather is generally hot year-round, but consider, any weather that might be coming your way. For example, if you are going during the rainy season, just know that there will be a couple of days with some rain in it. Don't worry though, rain is typically heavy and short most times of year, even in the rainy season. Most islands have over 8 hours of sunshine per day still. Particularly for the men, it is worth also thinking about the dress code. Some of the nicer dining establishments will have dress code, which they do enforce, and this will include things like wearing long trousers, shoes that have closed toe that aren't sneakers or trainers, those sort of things. On the packing list video, then also in the description below, I will put some packing recommendations with links, especially if you're a guy that just really doesn't want to wear, nice jeans or some nice overall trousers, dress slacks, that sort of thing to a restaurant. I'll put a link there with a couple of really light kind of linen options, which can be good to both meet the requirements and also be super comfortable in resort. Many of the resorts have theme nights. Most have a white night, especially if you're there for a week. Definitely bring something white so you can partake in that. Different resorts offer different things. Of course, if you're trying to plan this and you're not sure, you can definitely get in touch and we'll help you. But some of the resorts offer golf, some offer tennis, some offer specific water sports, which you might want to bring specific things for. So those are all things you want to keep in mind when you're thinking about what you might pack, what you might bring with you to a Sandals or Beaches resort. And now, drumroll, number 10, which is book excursions before you go. Yes, there is an island routes excursion desk which you can find inside of most of the resorts where you can book something directly, but typically what is there is whatever's left. I prefer, especially for my clients, to have the cream of the crop. So I always recommend as soon as you've booked, go ahead and have a look at excursions, see what you might want to book. And if there's something you know you definitely want, go ahead and secure that. Get your favorite date and time. You can of course change it later, but at least you have something in the books. For each client of Reliant Destinations, we give you a Mr Travelux insider guide to that specific resort. There's a lot of things in that insider guide, my favorite places, that sort of thing. But there's also usually a top 3 or 4 favorite excursions from that resort, so you can get a direct recommendation of what I recommend you have a look at. And if there's something you would like me to know about your personality style or what kind of things you enjoy beyond that, you can definitely share that with myself or the team, and we can give you a more direct recommendation about what would be perfect for you. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the top 10 little tips and tricks and tidbits of information that I think you should know about visiting a Sandals or Beaches resort. As a reminder, in that description below, there's lots of information, so definitely make sure to check that out. Again, the contact details for myself personally or my team is hello@reliantdestinations.com. Again, that's hello@reliantdestinations.com. It would always be a pleasure to assist however we might. Thanks again for stopping by this video. Please make sure to like it and subscribe. We hope to see you around the channel very soon, and most of all, really do hope to be of assistance in planning your next vacation to tropical paradise. Hope to see you in resort sometime. Take care.